Welcome to Startup Hack. Now, let's be real. In this market, getting your foot in the door for a software development job can be really tough. The first hurdle, your resume. That's what we're focusing on today. If your resume isn't solid, you've never got to get the interview, stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to craft a killer resume and how to get noticed, getting you in front of hiring managers and getting you one step closer to that dream software job. So let's dive into this today. All right, so welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomason. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions. I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology, teams, and products. All right, so let's dive in today and talk on this subject here where we can get you started to work to get one of those amazing, great jobs. So let's dive in finding a software development job, resumes for for getting the interview. So to start it off, you've probably heard this a million times, but trust me, as somebody who's reviewed a lot of resumes, it's crucial. Keep your resume short. 2 pages, absolutely max. If you can get it onto one resume as a relatively junior, don't think that actually discourages you, but you've got to make things pop. If your resume is longer than that, you're already losing points. Hiring managers are busy and they're sifting through hundreds of resumes. So they don't want a novel. They want quick, clear, and concise. And if they don't find what they need in 2 pages, you're out. Now, so short and sweet, if you've done a lot, you've worked hard, but your resume doesn't need to be your life story. Keep it short and sweet. Focus on the jobs and projects that matter the most to jobs that you're applying for. And remember, if your kindergarten finger painting skills aren't relevant, then they don't belong on your resume. The goal here is to keep everything tight, focused, and relevant to the job at hand. So keep that resume short and sweet because that wins. Next, no one's hiring you because of your excellent communication skills or your ability to work well with others. That stuff is nice, but it's fluff. It's secondary. What they really care about is whether you can do the job. So when listing your experience, focus on the tech. Make sure every job description highlights the languages, frameworks, and tools you've used. If you're a JavaScript ninja, then let them know. If you've crushed it with AWS, scream it from the rooftop. Technology first, fluff later, or not at all on your resume. So get to the tech, skip the fluff. The next one, this goes without saying, but every job doesn't need to be on your resume. You don't need to list that high school job where you were flipping burgers. Stick to the roles that are relevant to software development. Employers don't care about the odd jobs you had unless they directly contribute to your tech skills. Every word on the resume should have a purpose, so cut the irrelevant stuff. Less is more. So get the really relevant stuff and make it pop. And that's our next one. This is where you need to be creative. Do anything you can to make your resume really stand out, but don't get carried away. You want a resume that catches attention while staying professional. Maybe it's the design, maybe it's a clever line about a project. Just remember, first impressions matter, and your resume is your first impression. Be bold, but professional. That's really the sweet spot, but make it stand out. Now, here at Startup Hack, if your company isn't working together and your systems aren't working together like a well-oiled machine, reach out to us here at Startup Hack because we work with both those getting trained in our software development bootcamp as well as our consulting service where we work with companies to help them build great products. Now, a great way to stand out as a developer, a great way to stand out on a developer resume is to show off your projects. It's not just about your job experience. It's about what you've built. Have a portfolio or GitHub. Like, you've got to be able to have those things and link to it. Employers want to see that you not only have the skills, but that you've applied them in real world scenarios. Make sure the projects you list showcase a variety of skills and technologies. Let your work speak for yourself. Now, on the flip side, if you show me some project and all it is a fork of another project, I'll spot that right away, at least as a technical hiring manager. So show off your projects. Those are really, really important. Now, when writing about your previous jobs, focus on achievements rather than tasks. Instead of saying responsible for writing code, say something like developed a scalable web app that improved user engagement by 30%. See, that's something that would stand out. The numbers are what pop. See the difference? One is generic and the other shows results. Employers want to know what you have accomplished, not just what you did. Numbers and metric, absolutely throw them in there. They're your best friends. They really make it pop and stand out, especially if you can combine tech plus those numbers, right? They want to see achievement. Now, this might sound like a pain, but trust me, it works. Tailoring your resume for each job application can make all the difference. If you're applying for a front end role, make sure your resume highlights your React and CSS or Angular skills. Applying for a back end position, focus on API and database expertise. The more relevant your resume feels to the job, the better your chances of landing that interview. Don't send out a one-size-fits-all resume, customize it. Now, the other thing about this is that if you have some weird specific niche technology experience, I was recently working with a junior developer and he'd worked in integrating NetSuite into an application. And so as it was interesting because what happened was is he put NetSuite onto his as one of the skills that he'd done in his previous job and then also listing it under his skill set, and he got a lot of bites on that one particular technology. So this goes to highlight that you want to tailor your resume for every single job that you're applying for. Now, this is another pro tip. Many companies use application tracking softwares, or ATS, to filter resumes before a human ever even sees them. If your resume doesn't have the right keywords, if it never even makes it it'll never make it to the hiring manager. Also, make sure that you have both a text version as well as a pretty version, right? Because both are going to be used in different cases. So grab those keywords from the job description and weave them naturally into your resume. Make it easy for the ATS to pick you out from the crowd, but use those keywords. Those keywords are like SEO for your resume, and they're super important, especially in 2024 as hiring is becoming more and more automated. Now, if your business is less automated and it's not connecting the dots between your systems, let us help out. Here at Startup Hack, we specialize in connecting systems to streamline your operations. So visit startuphack.com/Spencer and we can learn more. Now, let's talk about the skills section. This is where you highlight the languages, frameworks, tools, and platforms you know. But here's the thing. Don't just list everything under the sun. Be strategic. Only include the technologies you're actually proficient in. If you've dabbled in Ruby once or twice, it doesn't belong in there. And hopefully Ruby doesn't really end up on your resume anyways. But anyways, your skills section should be a snapshot of your strongest abilities, not a wish list. So make the skills section good, make it count, make it pop. Organize it in an intelligent way so you can group database technologies together, back-end technologies again together, front-end frameworks that you've used. But again, I would specialize in this. Saying that you work with both React and Angular sounds like it might be a plus, but if you're going to apply for an Angular job, they really only care about the Angular. If you're going to apply for a shop that uses React, they're only going to care about React. Now, listen, honesty is key here. If you exaggerate your skills or your experience, it's going to come back to bite you. If you claim to be an expert in something and then fumble it in the interview, that's one-way ticket to rejection city. And in some ways, that's going to be even more painful. Be real about what you know and about what you've done. It's better to be honest about your current level than to try to fake it. Employers will appreciate your authenticity and your willingness to learn. But just remember, like, if you get into an interview, that's a quick one-way ticket out of the interview. If a developer can, or if the hiring manager can spot that that you've put stuff on your resume you don't actually have experience with. So be honest. No one likes a fake. Now, I know, cover letters sound old-fashioned, but don't underestimate their power. A well-crafted cover letter can give you the edge over the other applicants. A lot of times the first 2 sentences is all they're going to see. So if you have a cover letter or a blurb a one-line, a pitch. I know a lot of resumes are starting to put out there that they want to see like an elevator pitch for yourself. This is your chance to show off your personality, explain why you're a great fit for the role, and give context to your resume. It doesn't need to be long. In fact, shorter is better. But just a quick snapshot of who you are and why you're passionate about this job. Bonus points if you personalize it for each application. So there's a ton of power in a good cover letter. Now, here's another tip a lot of developers overlook: keeping your resume up to date. Don't wait until you're job hunting to make updates because you'll forget things. Every time you finish a project or learn a new skill, add it to your resume. That way, when the time comes and you're going to apply, you're not scrambling to remember what you did 6 months ago. An up-to-date resume means you always are ready for the next big opportunity. The other thing about it, too, is a previous coworker I had used to tell me that on their bad days, they would go work on their resume for 5 or 10 minutes, and they'd always feel better about themselves. I actually think that's really wise counsel in a lot of different ways, because it allows you to remember all the things you've done. It reminds you of kind of who you are and your past and your accomplishments. And also, it's not a bad idea because then you're constantly tweaking the resume, and that is what it should be. Now, these are some suggestions that I've had. I would love to hear from you guys. The best compliment I get is when I get comments from you guys on either live or afterwards on these videos. Leave a comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you've found to be the most helpful and the best tips that you have. If you're a hiring manager, leave some of your tips down below for people who are looking. I know this is a tough crowd right now, and this is a tough time to find a job. So if you're out there interviewing, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is keep your chin up. Keep going. It is taking a little longer than it was a few years ago, but compared to other fields, it still is actually one of the easier fields to land a job in. So keep going. I know a lot of people are comparing it to 2022 and 2023 where you just had to sneeze and suddenly you had 4 job offers. I get that it's not like that anymore, but this is still a great career that you should really want to work towards. So that's why here at Startup Pack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out because we'd love to help. Hit the links down below or go check out startuppack.com/Spencer today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.